Yep. There we go. Seems like we're up and running. Good morning, good morning. Somebody's here. Yep. What do you mean, finally? Good morning, gang. Continuing off exactly where I left last night. Haven't touched it since then. Just doing the final clearing on one of the color blocks, just so everybody knows what we're at. Geez, look at this chat already. Oh, we're doing the owl print still. The key block was done some days ago. Made the transfers onto what are going to be 4 color blocks. One was finished yesterday, the block for the brown area. I'm just finishing up now the block for the sepia area, light brown. It'll be finished in a few minutes. When that's done, I'll move on to the last 2, the green leaves, which are cut but not cleared, and the background block, which is cut but not cleared. This will be this morning's work. Don't know how far we'll get. I got 2 pages of chat already. Well, I got to get to my part of it. It's a chilly morning here in Tokyo today. Clearly, we're on our way now for winter coming, you know. On cameras, okay. Fine. To recap also, I guess, for, it looks like we've got new people here this morning, people that haven't seen these before. Preparing each one of these blocks, there's 3 steps to it. The first step was cutting the outlines, cutting the actual lines with the knife, the sharp beveled knife. The second step was clearing away wide areas of unneeded wood with larger chisels. That's stage 2. And stage 3, the final step, is what I'm doing now, working between those 2 areas, you know. I can't bring the major big chisels right up to the carved line, obviously. So I bring them as close as I can. And stage 3 is clearing off that last area up to the carved line. And it's the sort of most delicate area. It's an area easy to make mistakes, you know. Chip into the line. What have we got going here? Problems, troubles. I got my microphone on right, the light's on right. People are telling me what I forget each morning, so seems okay. Don't use natural light. No, I'm well away from the window. I'm in the middle of the room here. I can't use the window. This is always light over my desk. I'm on a cherry wood block, same as always. Can I zoom in a little more? Maybe. The problem is if I zoom in too far, is I'm much likely to go outside of the camera view as I move around here. You know, if I stayed in exactly the same position, you're okay. But if I start doing things like this, moving around a little bit, we're out of luck. So I'll try coming in a bit more here. Last week I was working with a microscope, which meant I could zoom right in because the block never moves away from my established field of view. But you know, I'm freestyling here now, so the block moves around quite a lot. As far as the image, what I'm carving right now, again, there's people here who don't know. I know perhaps one of the previous viewers could post into the thread the image of the finished print here. I mean the image where I got it from, the original Hiroshige image. It's a print designed in, I think, 1850s. I'm not sure exactly, I don't remember, by Hiroshige. It was a small nature print from a series of I don't know, different birds. There is, somebody's done already. Thank you very much. So nice to have supporters like this. It's like being a doctor in operating theater. You hold your hand out and the nurse slaps the tool into it. So, what else can I ask for? Cup of Earl Grey, please. I don't think it works like that. Copyright. This is, Earl Grey coming up here, right? Thank you. Copyright's not an issue here. The original is in the middle of the 1800s. I forget the exact date. It might be on that page somebody just linked. It's 1850s or 1860s, whatever. So there's no copyright issues. This is stuff that is clearly in the public domain. Copyright was something that started as a concept, really, I don't know, much later than that. These images, all the old ukiyo images are free for anybody to do what they want. There's sort of two aspects to these things. There's a legal aspect and a moral aspect. It's the same as maybe like the ukiyo heroes with Jed and I. There's a certain things that are allowed or stated by law. And it's also possible, though, that you can be within the law, but doing something that's not quite so good to do. Let's take our video game parodies, We feel pretty clearly we're covered by the thing that's generally called fair use there. We're parodying those. But it's quite possible that we could still be covered by law, but doing something that's not so nice. Are we really stealing Nintendo stuff? Are we ripping them off and hurting them? Ha ha ha, thanks. And we don't think so at all. There's no harm being done to their franchise or their IP, and it seems the reverse. We're if anything, we're helping bring attention to their stuff, like they need it from us. But in the case of this is public domain. We have no legal obligation at all. And as far as a moral thing, am I hurting this man's reputation or his misusing what he created? I don't think so in any way. I'm bringing something to the attention of people who would never, ever have seen it before. And I'm going to make a reproduction of this print that is not only an honorable reproduction, it's going to be way better than the original, because we're able to bring more resources to it. I've got a photocopy, we were talking about this last week, a photocopy of one of the original versions. It's in one of those 3 museum copies. And it's so poorly printed. The carving is clean and neat, but the printing is just so terrible. It was just slam bang, get it out. Because it was cheap, quick work. And we're doing it exactly the other way around. We're honoring this and making it as beautiful as we can. I've spent already more time and trouble on this than the original people ever did. And we're bringing the work to a whole generation that never saw it before. So yeah, we're sailing. I mean, if he's up there watching over us now, he's just laughing. So no, we can do whatever we want with this stuff, and we're using it properly. That's a tight spot right there, right in the middle of that V. Got to be careful here. Look at that. It's a bit of against the grain both ways. Better cut it a bit deeper, make sure I don't chip the leaf. It's the grain again. On my own camera, I have to watch that. Okay, there we are. I think this one's done. Oh no, the eyes. Okay, there's that block. Again, for the people who haven't been here too long, who don't really know what's going on, when you look at the image there, let me kill this bright light for a minute. When you look at the image here, this is a photocopy of the original. You can see a bunch of colors. There's a blue background, there's a black key lines, there's a brown color, and a lighter sepia color. So there's four, and there's green leaves. So there's 5 colors on the original, and we're doing the same thing. Sorry for the people who already know what's going on here. The black key block, this was carved first. I printed this and transferred it to the color blocks. You can see one that's going to go on next here. This is the same image. I printed that, transferred it onto this piece of wood, and you can see the areas that need carving. So it's going to be 5 faces. The key block, the dark brown owl, which is finished now, the sepia on the owl. Oh, this is the dark brown on the owl. This is the sepia on the owl. There's 2 more still to go. The green leaves here, and then the background block. And this is carved last night with a knife, so now I'm going to do the second stage of this, which is knocking off with a chisel. And now it's going to get noisy. If you're here for the first time, if you're wearing headphones, please be careful. In a minute, when you see me get my chisel out here, it's going to get noisy. Wider chisel. Put away the delicate stuff. Question first, so I hear the question sound. Let's have a look and see what's in there. Question. How many of your customers are Japanese versus foreigners? How do Japanese people view these prints? Big question. I know our specific business, our particular business is, the last time we counted it was 90%, 93% or so of our prints leave the country. They go overseas. But that's not really a good sample in terms of saying what part of the world likes ukiyo-e prints. It's a reflection of the way we run our business. We do lots of blogging and YouTubing and Facebooking in English, and my staff here still hasn't really got their act together, because I'm such a bad manager, about doing such things in Japanese. So a lot of Japanese people still don't even know about us. So it's not a good measure to say most of our prints go overseas, because that's what we're sort of targeting at so far. Japanese people love what I'm doing too, when they learn about it, when they hear about it. We were on TV here last week, and after the TV show showed, lots of people came in the shop and had a look around. Anyway, Japanese people in general are not interested so much in the old woodblock prints, of course, because when they hear the idea woodblock prints, it's like it's old dry stuff to them, you know. So they have no specific interest in it. And Westerners, to them, it's interesting and semi-exotic, and you know, just they enjoy it for what it is. Okay, I'm going to make some noise. Let's see. Move the camera a little bit. I'm going to move the microphone off my chest here. I'm going to move it away a bit so it doesn't catch so much of the vivid banging here. So my voice is going to drop a bit. And if you're out on headphones, please be careful. Here we go. Next few minutes, I'm going to clear this block. Next couple of minutes will be noisy, then we go back to the quiet work. Here we go. I'm going to be careful here because there's two places. There's a registration mark I don't want to lose. And in the corner, of course, registration marks. Still on camera, no problem. Right. Of course, we don't need the moon. This block is for the background color. And the moon will be just paper. Here no white pigment. Anytime you see white in any of our prints, it's always the paper. We have no white pigment. So this white moon will be just white paper. Okay, let's switch one rank up. The bench gradually slips bit by bit, you know, so I have to watch it. Sorry about the noise. I'll be finished in a minute or so here. I hear the question sound. Just give me a minute here. That's the outlines, and we got to get rid of the owl carefully. Or I think that's it for the noisy part here on this block. After reading yesterday evening's chat, you know, after I signed off, I had dinner and read through the comments and stuff. Somebody asked me about this blue rag. I forget what they said. How old is that? I got to tell you, it's older than my kids. and I have grandchildren. So, all right, let's zoom in a bit here. Next step now, back to the quiet work, Nick. Get rid of the big chisels and bring out again the smaller ones I had. And I think there's a question or two in there. Let's have a look. Wrong glasses. Paint stuff and destroy. So people, thank you for the people who know what's going on to help explain to the people who don't know what's going on. Thank you very much. Okay, somebody's asking about the octopus print. The octopus print is right behind me as I sit and speak here. It's not abandoned, of course. I'm very much still an ongoing project. The octopus, though, has to fit in between the other jobs I'm doing. The owl print that I'm doing here has a higher priority. We have to get our gift website open somewhere within the second week of October. So I've had to put the octopus away for a few minutes, a few weeks, to work on this. And actually, when this is done, my next priority will be to do the color separations for the first boss fight print, which are still waiting. And then I've got to cut a quick New Year's print. And when those are done, the octopus print comes back onto the desk here. I'm sorry. It's not something that, the octopus print is a personal project of mine, which I'm doing. So the work stuff has to come in first. I'm sorry. It will be back. Just hold on. Somebody asked about barons yesterday, and here we have the same person with the same question. Do you tie your own barons? Of course we do. We tie our own barons daily. What the person is talking about is those printing pads that we use. And it's not a good question for while I'm carving. So yeah, let's cover that in a lot more detail when we're doing the printing, and I've got a baron in front of me and we can talk about it, and maybe I'll show the inside of it and stuff like that. I just don't have one right here now, so it's a bit meaningless to most people in this chat. Quick answer. Yes, we do tie our own barons. Yes, we do make our own barons. We'll talk about that further at printing time. Okay, do I need to put that bright light on, or can we see what's going on? I guess it's really too bright for the camera. Let me do a bit of this without the light, but then I do have to turn it on so I can see the 3D. Oh, another question. Shall we look at it, or what should we do here? Quick question about length. Length of what? The person is asking how long does it take me to make a print from start to finish, and whatever, as you can guess, I'm sorry, there isn't any number that I can give you that makes any sense. This little print here, it's a postcard size print. It's going to be 5 blocks. And then the octopus print we're making, it's 10 times as large. It's got 8 blocks, much more detail, completely different numbers. I'm sorry. Every time I try and answer this question, all I can do is go back to, if you flip over to my website, age-old pages, woodblock.com/surimono. Surimono, S-U-R-I-M-O-N-O. I can speak in general terms. That was a 50 print project that took 5 years. So you can do the math there. I made a print roughly every 5 weeks. And they were done from conception, from starting the tracing, through all the carving, all the color blocks. And I made 200 copies of each one. And I was a daddy. I was a home... What's the word? A parent living at home with his kids. I don't know what's the word to say. I brought my kids up. Me and 2 kids lived together, the 3 of us. So I was the house husband. So doing all that stuff, plus making prints. So basically 5 weeks to make each one of those prints in 200 copies, along with life. So I'm sorry that it's a very general answer. There's nothing else I can say. They're all so different. It's very slow, detailed work, but it's also very productive, especially once the blocks are done and you can print. And you'll see next week when we're printing this. Next week or later this week, whenever it is. It can be hugely efficient. Once everything's ready and organized and in line, it's bang, bang, bang. A semi-friend of mine, a guy who's involved in modern printmaking, he does his own designs rather than what I do. he calls what I do sausage making. Dave's just making sausages. Because we make so many, we bang them out. He thinks of his work as being delicate and artistic, and we really should just make one each, but we know we have to make money, so we got to make a few more. A bit more of a pretentious, arty way of thinking, you know. We're making sausages, and we're proud of it. This way of making prints, this was the printing business back in the Edo period. It wasn't art at all. This print that I'm reproducing, you know, the one I showed you the photocopy of, it wasn't art. It was just, you know, decorative objects. We're making sausages, hopefully tasty ones. Right, we're almost back now to where we were when I first came in this morning with that other block. No? We've done the first line, the cutting. We've done the stage 2, the clearing. And now it's stage 3, getting that last little bit in between the two. Am I on camera? Do I need to move it? Sorry about the jiggling, excuse me. Right, is that a bit better? Move to the right, it says. Right. Sausages, sausages. What was that called? Stay-at-home dad. Yeah, that's the expression. Stay-at-home dad, I think it's called. I know, whatever, it's not part of this discussion here, but I know, whatever, things had gone wrong with our family, and our mother left us, the kids' mother left us, and I brought my kids up from the time they were about, I don't know, how old were they? They were maybe 6 and 4, the 2 girls. Through the time when they went to high school, we were a 3-member family, a dad and 2 girls. And it was so much fun, my God. Absolutely one of the best parts of my life, looking back on it. And even when we were in it, it was fun. There's nothing easier than a dad with 2 girls, you know, I mean, my God. Well, there's no conflict, we were just good buddies. Golden part of my life, that was. Don't get much chance to see them anymore. Of course, they're grown up, they've got their own families. But we had some fun. This wood is much nicer and smoother than the other one I was using the last couple of days. Now I chose it this way. Because this is going to be the background block, we need as much as possible no interference with the wood when we come to printing time. You know, if there's rough grain or knots or marks, it would show in this sky. So when I was choosing the blocks for these different ones, the block I chose for the whatever, this brown owl had different grain defects in it. It doesn't matter because it wouldn't show anything on that block. But any block with a wide open expanse, you've got to be really careful when you're choosing it. We chose a good smooth one, and now, yummy, yummy, yummy. This is so smooth to work with at this stage too. Yeah, space for the owl. Let's get rid of the space for the moon. Crunch, crunch, crunch. come up. Careful, careful. I didn't want to come out in that corner. If I'm not careful, it'll chip. I'm right there at the edge of the moon. Absolutely deadly. Got it. Last place you want to chip, most visible place on the whole print. That could be what happened back in the original. You know, we were talking about this the other day. On the original, you can see the moon isn't smoothly round. For one, it's a sort of funny ellipse, but also it's got notches, it's got bumps, and it's possible maybe the guy, when he was carving, just got a little chip there. It's possible, or just simply they didn't care. Okay, there we are. The moon's out. We're on the border now. I cut this a bit deeper so I don't chip this. More crunch, crunch, crunch. On camera. Also, I forgot to put my mic back after that last banging episode. Maybe my voice is gone, I don't know. People have probably been yelling about it in the thread. Sorry about that. Okay, top and bottom. This is easy to get screwed up because the knife wants to wander with the wood grain. Cross grain was easily, the knife stays straight, but this one the knife wants to wander, so. This one too. This looks simple, but this is one of the more difficult parts of the job. Cutting straight lines with the grain. Seems okay. Excuse me. Simple print like this owl, you know, we've been working on it. I've been working on it now for, 10 days or something. It's a bit embarrassing because a print like this, you know, we talked earlier a few minutes ago about how long it takes to make stuff. This is really, really a simple one. The color block count is small. There's no real super detail on the colors. It's not like you have to carve some kimono pattern, you know, 20 times in different colors, whatever. This is a straightforward print. And if I had nothing else to do, if there was no print parties and no shop to run and nothing else, if I was just a carver in a room by myself, this would have been just a couple of days' work. Bang it out, hi, on to the next job, you know. But working like this just a couple of hours a day, everything gets just sort of delayed and delayed and delayed. Same with the octopus, you know, that's not actually such a complex print, you know. Okay, that's another one done. That was easy, eh? Background block, ready to print the sky. Which leaves us just with the green leaves blocks, which means it's time to get noisy again. Sorry about this. And we were talking about this the other day too. I know, why do I keep switching back and forth, back and forth? And yeah, a lot of carvers, and actually me too, sometimes when I'm just working on my own without all these distractions, a set of blocks like this I would cut the knife part of them all first, then I would do all the noisy clearing on the whole set, then I would move to the final job. But here I'm keeping it mixed up to make the stream a bit more interesting, and also just whatever, just to keep it from getting repetitive here too. Okay, what we're going to do, I'm going to take my microphone off again, back to what we saw earlier. If you just tuned in, be careful. I'm now going to use larger chisels. Put the smaller ones away for a few minutes, back and forth, and time for some hammering. Excuse me, let me check the thread. Questions, whatever. No idea what's going on. Talking about ASMR, I have bad news for you. We're about to make a whole lot of noise. Relaxation channel. You're talking about relaxation channel, and I'm about to bring out this. Yeah, good luck. Sorry, it's part of the job. So as I said, if you've got headphones, be careful. If you've got your speakers up and people in the rest of the room are Yes, the octopus print is the reason why I put the mature switch on the channel. And I don't know if I can go back and forth, if I should take off the mature switch while we're doing this. I don't know how the thing works. What am I doing here? Am I in view? Let's do this. As I said, it's going to get noisy. Please be careful. Here we go. ASMR, sorry about this. Let's go the other way on that one. Easier. Better mark those registration marks. They're so easy to overlook and they're so easy to destroy. One there, one here. I still on the camera? Keep moving this around, you know, sorry. There's a question, just give me a second. Okay, that's close. Now we'll switch to the bigger chisel here. Let's see what the question is. Oh, you're doing a represent, are you? Height. Cambodia. Wow, I don't think we've had that before. Quick question. Are there any plans to stream the carving of the Overwatch parody for your Kickstarter campaign? I have some bad news for you. That Overwatch 4-panel huge print that's in the Kickstarter campaign is not actually going to become a woodblock print, not in any time that we can foresee. There are lots of people who would like to have it as a print. At the moment, it's only planned to be an inkjet version, a Giclée version, I'm sorry. Production costs for a large-scale 4-panel print like that are far, far, far beyond what we can afford, Kickstarter campaign or no, and we just don't have the staff, we don't have the people, the carvers and printers to be able to tackle a project that big. So I'm sorry, I thought it was clear on the campaign page. That print, it says, is only available as an inkjet version. If we're talking about the same thing, the Overwatch, the big 4-panel print. Okay, last little bit of noisy work here for this morning. Got to get my hammer here. Excuse me a minute, it's going to get really noisy here now, excuse me. ASMR, right. Sorry, Bob. What did he say, that brush thing? Let's beat the devil out of this brush, or what did he say? bench is moving. Sorry. All the time you're trying to gauge with my finger, you know, how deep we are. I need to be able to get this just deep enough, but not too deep. We'll leave a corner here so that when we're printing on the other side, the block will be stable instead of wobbling all over. So we'll leave this corner for that. Okay, last little bit down here. This will be the end of the noisy stuff for this print. Yeah. This is the last block. Okay, let's have a look. That might be it. Let's see. If we've got anybody left after all that noise. Bit more here. Bit too shallow. Bit here too, maybe. Oops, wrong way. I think that's it. Okay, enough noise. Thank you for patience there. Same collection comes out. Big ones go away. My microphone comes back. How are we doing for time? We're okay? 9 o'clock, no problem. We got a ways to go yet. Starts hammering, viewer count increases. Be careful here, please. Drink every time he switches glasses. Is that a new party game? Give me a break, you guys. I wish I had more time to be able to read this while I was doing it. I'm sorry. It's just not possible, you know. As I mentioned many times before, I read it all afterwards, but it's too late, you know. Same again now, there's marks left over by the chisel. I've got to smooth as much as possible the bottom of these oceans so that when we're printing later, they don't catch. If there's a ridge in that ocean, it catches pigment and builds up and builds up and builds up until the part where it makes a blot on the print. So first thing to do here is get rid of all the scratches and ridges from those chisel strokes. It must be confusing for people, you know, someone who just drops into this stream for the first time without knowing what's going on. They just drop in right now 1 minute ago, you know, like what is going on? What is this? I don't know how to address that because, you know, I can't have an FAQ that says what I'm doing right now because every few minutes it's something different. So I don't know what to do about that, really, you know. Just hope that other people in the stream can try and explain to the newbies as much as possible. And there's a question, answerable or unanswerable, who knows? Let's see, just a minute here. Drink. Two questions. That's an easy one, just a sec. I have been asked 100 times. That's an easy one. Okay, a couple of questions. Can I answer one without forgetting the other one? Somebody's asking about Ustream. I did Ustream streaming, when was it? 5 years ago? 6 years ago? Back before we had the Asakusa shop. First it was a webcam about 15 years ago, you know, single shots every 10 seconds or so. Then when I switched to Ustream, it had no audio, so it was just video. And we ran it with Skype. I kept my Skype channel open at the same time. And we would do audio Skyping. People would call into an address I set up. But a number of people, it's nothing like what we're doing now. Most is what, like 3, 4, I think one day we had like 5 or something as a new record. I don't remember. It was just a few people, mostly friends, diehard fans. Remember, it's before the days I didn't have a YouTube channel. I had a little blog. There was no Facebook, or Facebook was just whatever at the beginning. It was just fooling around, playing, you know. It was good fun. I'd put the camera out the window and look at the river and stuff like that. And then Ustream, I guess, changed their policies. It wasn't free anymore. You had to pay for views, and it was expensive, even at that level of, like just a few people each day. It was expensive, so I wasn't able to continue. Then the Asakusa shop came up, and bingo, that was it. My schedule just got blown to pieces, and no more streaming. This is great fun. And I've forgotten the other question. Give me a minute. It'll come to me just a minute. Yes, hands, pain. Do I have pain in my hands and stuff? And yeah, we've answered this many times. And the easy question is no. I don't have any trouble, nor do any of the people working here, the printers and carvers. And in a more widespread context, that thing that many cultures, North America specifically, seems to talk about a lot, RSI, repetitive strain injury, it's pretty much unknown here. And certainly in this field that I'm working in, traditional Japanese printmaking, there's no such thing. And I'm not quite sure why. There's a few things that might be a factor. What you've seen me doing even just now, I spent X hours with that particular tool carving this way. Then I switched to a different tool and do some more carving this way. Now I've switched to, these are 4 or 5 different tools, and each one uses different muscles and different movements. So, given that it's always back and forth, there's no solid single stress on any given one part of my body. That's different for printers. You'll see later on when I'm printing, and it's sheet number 1, rub, do it. Sheet number 2, rub, do it. Sheet number 3, rub. Exactly the same movement, literally thousands of times in any given day. And yet still no problem. And we've talked about the reason before, that as far as I can see it, I'm not a physiologist, but you can't see it there, but the carving bench, is actually tilted up. I'm exaggerating here. It's tilted up. So as from my belly here, it goes up, 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 very slightly. And as I sit and do my carving all day long, for the most part, my wrist is in a straight line. You know, wrists get problems when you do things like you're typing like this, or you're doing funny things with them. But in my experience, as long as your wrist is straight, you know, doing whatever you're doing, then this minimizes the experience, the stress on your thing. And the printing bench, which you'll see later, is tilted the other way. It tilts down from you. I'm sitting here now in the wrong place, but anyway, so when I'm holding the printing tool, I grasp it like this, my wrist is straight, and it's at the right angle, the correct angle, so that as I rub, the wrist isn't flexed. I don't rub like this or like this. And I think that's the key to this thing. Again, I'm not a physiologist. That's my layman's version. As long as the wrist is straight, and there's no stress on it in this kind of a way, you seem to be okay. Anyway, that's my experience, you know. After whatever it is now, when did I make my first print? When did I start this? 1979, I think. I met that girl. I looked in a restaurant, saw those prints, made my first experiments, 1979. And where are we now? We're in 2017. 79, 89, 99, 09. Just 38 years, whatever. And I haven't had any trouble, you know. Okay, there we are. Last stage now. We got to clean off. Now I'm thinking about the schedule here. It's, I don't know, 9:16 or so. So you know what's going to happen sometime in the next, whatever, 10 minutes or so. The staff's going to start to arrive. Today it's Thursday, so it's going to be Teiko-san and Chihiro-san. She's one of the trainees. Teiko-san is not. She's our basically our number one party host, other than me. And Chihiro-san will be coming soon. And funnily enough, you know, yesterday, Wednesday, Shiba-san was here. She doesn't do English very well, so we try to put her on the days when there aren't too many parties. And yesterday we were flooded, morning till night, parties. And today, Teiko-san's here, and she's the most capable one, and we have one party scheduled. It's just the way that, you know, we can't tell what's going to happen, you know. They don't want to be changed every week. The girls want a fairly stable schedule so that they know they're coming every Wednesday or every Thursday or, you know, whatever like that. which I get. Give them this, let them organize their lives properly. But we can't schedule the party reservations. They come in, randomly. And this week, it turns out, Monday and Wednesday were flooded, and the next 2 days, Thursday and Friday, are light, just when Teiko-san's here. So she'll be laughing at me when she comes in today. So it's okay. There's lots of other work to do, so all right. But think about my own schedule then. Okay, I know this little block here, this is the last of the blocks, isn't it? I won't be able to finish it probably right now before we do this morning, but there's only a few minutes work left on it. So that makes me wonder now about tonight's stream. What should tonight's stream be? To finish this block tonight and then suddenly switch to test printing, that's not practical, because for the test printing I've got to set up, it's at least an hour's work to set it up, get some brushes ready, get pigments mixed, get some paper wet. And that happens upstairs rather than downstairs. So I'm thinking out loud, tonight's stream will probably be finishing off this block right here. Yeah, I won't be finished now in a few minutes. Tonight's stream will be finishing off this block. And I think what I'll do then is I've still got on the bench right next to me here, I've got the color separation work for this baby, which has been sleeping for the last week while I've been doing this owl print. And I have got to get back to that job because John-san, the carver, he's instead of just waiting for me on this, he's moved ahead to carving the next key block. So he's busy, but he needs this stuff. And of course, we've got to get that print into production. The Kickstarter campaign is nearly finished. We've promised that print within the year. So I guess that's what's going to be happening tonight. I'll be finishing this block, then working on those color separations tonight. Then tomorrow, what's today? Today's Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. Can I do that in the space of a morning Twitch session? Can I do the test printing on this thing? Maybe. Let's tentatively schedule that. Tomorrow, Friday morning. The session tomorrow that matches the time we're at here. Let me put a tentative circle on my calendar that it'll be test printing for this block happening upstairs here. I'm not guaranteeing that. That's my current thinking right now if nothing else comes along to change it. So Friday morning, test printing on the owl. And if it works well, then that's it. The blocks and paper go to our printers. They get busy with it. It goes up on the website for pre-orders. And I move on to the next job. Was that a question? Or I don't remember where I am. Hang on a sec. It was a question. Wood. Ittane. Somebody's asking about, have I ever used American cherry? No, but I've used Canadian cherry. And for the work we do, it's not suitable, I'm sorry. But let me qualify that. No. That sky block we just did, I've talked about this before. That sky block I just carved. It turns out the Japanese cherry, and not just all the different kinds of cherry in Japan, the one specific kind of cherry, the one they call Yamazakura, mountain cherry, as opposed to Yoshino sakura, the one they use for parks and stuff, and other kinds of sakura. Here we go. Quick. The Yamazakura has got such a tight grain that the water pipes inside the wood, that take sap from the roots to the top, they're very fine. And when you get the finished wood, it's sliced. Those water pipes, of course, are part of the wood structure. Good morning, Shiro-san. Hello. And because they're very fine in the Yamazakura, we don't get lines in the color. I tried Canadian cherry, and whatever the single piece I tried had big fat pipes, and small white stripes came on all the color blocks we tried from it. Good morning, Teiko-san. Hello. So to my experience, the different kinds of cherry are not suitable. But for you, if you're trying this, if you want really beautiful ukiyo-e with perfect fat color and blah, 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 then American cherry is no. But if you're just trying printmaking, fooling around, getting going, grab a piece, cut it, try it, see what works. I doubt that very many people who are going to try this, as an interesting hobby, have the really specific, strict requirements that we do. So yeah, grab it, try it. Grab it, try it. Cherry is a great wood. It's not too hard to work. It's hard enough to take detail. It absorbs the water nicely so that you can print nice, rich color. It's just the Goldilocks wood. Not too soft, not too hard. Beautiful moisture-absorbing characteristics. So try it. It's just us. Our demands are pretty rigorous because we have a very specific end game in mind. So for us, it's not suitable, but for probably almost anybody else on the planet, it's fine. I hope it's not patronizing. I'm just trying to describe the situation. I don't know. 10時パーティーありますが、私、紙とか用意していろいろ見たんですが。今週はアップダウンで、月曜日は crazy, absolutely crazy. 水曜日はまあまあ。And we think we solved the square register problem. The iPad Pro. It works so far anyway. It's worked perfectly every time.
Did you update the iPad?
Pardon me?
Is that the problem? Did you update the iPad? Because it's changing to iOS 11.
I haven't done that. The iPad Pro at the moment is still 10. And the old iPad, the register, it's OS 9 and it won't go past 9. So for what we did yesterday, we had so much trouble.
Like a week ago, it updated to iOS 11.
So maybe the Square software also wants the same, I don't know. But we're almost now, yesterday we basically gave up on the old iPad. So I haven't got a stand for it yet, but the iPad Pro is out there, so please, yeah. But there's no stand, I'm sorry. I have to get one for it. It's very slippery, so look at it, whatever. It's also difficult to swipe the credit cards because the reader spins around. You say hello, Teiko-san? People have been waiting for you. Where are we here? Just a second.
Oh, are you still up?
I'm still up. We're still on. Here we go. This is Teiko-san today, and behind her is Chihiro-san. They're the staff members today.
Hi.
So I don't have to do anything with the parties. These guys can handle the parties today. So. Underneath Dave's feet, is there a huge pile of wood shavings? Actually, there is. I know right now it's not so bad because one of the staff members here, Kawai-san, whenever he's got nothing to do, it's on his list of things to do to come here and clean up. But when I was working by myself over in Ome, it got crazy. I just sweep them underneath, sweep them underneath, sweep them underneath. And it got to the point where there was no room for my feet underneath. Winter was fine. I could bury my feet into the chips and it was great insulation. But it got out of hand. So every couple of years, get a shovel digger in there and dig them out. Literally a shovel and shovel them out. But this one's not so bad because Kawai-san has been taking it upon himself to clean up. Okay, where are we? We're at the end of another stream this morning. So here we are. Just a quick recap what we're doing here. This is the owl print. The key block is done at first stage. It hasn't got the stress carving done to it yet. The sepia block and the brown block are done. The background block is done, and in a few minutes more work, the green block will be done. So, to recap, tonight I'll be finishing this and doing some work on those color separations for the boss fight print. Then current thinking is tomorrow morning in this time slot, I'll be upstairs doing the first test print on our owl friend. There's my telephone. My day has begun. Thanks, guys. I'm going to sign off. See you later. I'll enjoy reading the stream later on. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. 金井さん、おはようございます。ちょっと待ってくださいですね。今ちょっと生放送中ですが、ちょっと待って。ちょっと待ってください。はい。mine's off microphone. Hang up. We're on a live mic. My lady wants to talk about tax issues, so no way. Where we go. Thank you very much.